When you're starting a business, it can feel like everyone is telling you what systems you need: a website, a CRM, branding, email marketing, all of it. And that kind of pressure can get overwhelming really fast. But here's the truth: most new entrepreneurs don't need more tools. They need clarity and a few foundational systems that actually support how they work. So, in this video, I'm going to walk you through the systems that truly matter when you're getting started and what can wait. I'm Kathleen Lawson, and as a business strategist, I help female service based solopreneurs take control of their time and business by putting the strategy, structure, and routines in place to build momentum and grow. So, when I use the word systems in this context, I'm not talking about software or a computer platform. The early stage systems are not technical, they're more decision frameworks and simple rhythms and repeatable ways of doing things so that you're not starting from scratch every day and you're not stuck in paralysis mode. So, the goal here is to get into action easily, reduce your mental load, and start to build some momentum. So when we talk about these foundational systems, here they are. We've got clarity, time structure, priority and direction, relationships, and reflection. So let's walk through these. So the first one is clarity. And this is about all the description of your business. This is about: what are you selling? Who is it for? What problem do you solve? What outcomes do you deliver? And what's the pricing? And your pricing doesn't have to be perfect at this point, but it does need to be confident. You need to be able to talk about it. And the clarity here informs everything else. That is, if you can't clearly explain what you do, no other system can save you. And you might be looking at this and thinking, well, of course, but a lot of people do not have this at the beginning. I've had plenty of people approach me wanting to talk about getting their business started, and they are not able to clearly articulate what they do. This is really the first piece, and you need to be able to do this, because without the clarity, there's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else we can do until you can talk about what you do and who you're doing it for and all these pieces. So the clarity is the first and really the jumping off system. All right, second is time structure. And this is about how you're using your time. And this is important in the beginning here. Well, this is important all the time, but this is important to set right from the beginning, because you want a business that you're going to be able to run alongside your life, and you want to be happy with it. And so you need to have some structure around your time. So this is where you decide how many hours you're working and when you're working, and how you're breaking down your client work and your business development time and your admin. And in the beginning, it's probably a lot of business development and not much client work, but you need to have some scheduling that's very intentional. And your weekly CEO hour has to be part of this from the beginning. And we'll talk a little bit more about this, but this is the time every week where you get organized and you plan your next week and you put on your CEO hat and you do those things that for your business that you need to do to really take control. So having some structure around your time is what's going to prevent chaos and burnout. This is really about kind of taking leadership of your business. So time structure is our second system. Next, we want to talk about priority and direction. And this is about what actually matters most right now, because most of the overwhelm in the early days comes from trying to do too much at once. So a lot of business owners will sort of lay out: I want to do this, 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 and then they're trying to progress all these things at once. And it's hard to make the progress you need trying to do all those things. So you don't want to work on everything simultaneously. You want to choose your 1 to 3 priorities and get those progressed. So maybe it's, all right, I'm going to create my one sheet, and I'm going to figure out my onboarding process, and I'm going to set up a simple LinkedIn presence. So you get those first couple of things done, and then the next, and then the next. So it's really about sequencing, and it's about letting certain things wait intentionally. So you want to do fewer things in the right order. That's what's going to create your momentum. So priority and direction is our third system. Fourth is relationships. Now, your business is going to grow through relationships. So these conversations that you're having with people are really important. You don't need a big audience, but you do need to be out talking to people, and you need to follow up, and you need to have some visibility, and you need to have a really simple way to track who you talk to and who needs the follow up. So this is very often the most avoided system, but it's super important because nothing's going to happen until you start talking to people. People won't magically find out about your business. So you do have to get out there and have these relationships. So this is a really important first foundational system. And finally, we have reflection. And this is sort of the glue that holds the rest of this together. This is about every week reflecting back and thinking about, all right, what got done, what didn't get done, what matters next, who do I need to follow up with? And this reflection actually builds confidence really quickly. And before you even start seeing the revenue, sort of seeing what you've done and making those decisions about what's going to happen next is going to build the confidence. So that is our fifth system. So looking at those as the systems to really focus on in the beginning, our next question here is then, well, what can wait? Well, what can wait are the fancy website, the complex software platforms, the elaborate funnels, the branding that's all perfect. And these things are not bad. In fact, they're very important. They're just not first. So they actually delay you building momentum because you end up too busy building those. And I've watched entrepreneurs spend months and months and months going down those kinds of rabbit holes, building out those systems without ever talking to a potential client or referral partner. These are not the things that are going to build momentum and get you going. These things have to wait till later. So starting a business is not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things in the right order. And if you want some help on figuring out where to start, I have a 90-day business launch planner opt-in, and that'll walk you through this step by step. You can download it right below. So remember, you don't need to feel ready. You just need a clear next step. If you liked this content, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos.